Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
All right, so the question that we have, and again, we just kind of gather questions from listeners, viewers. We have a bank full of questions just to kind of be our combo prompts. This week, let's get deep. Can you trust your significant other to be good friends with somebody that is single and attractive? And of course, that being somebody of the opposite sex. So of course, the same sex as you. So if you're gay, if you got a gay boyfriend, would you want him hanging out with another handsome, whatever it is, or heterosexual, however, whatever lens. So, I mean, that's a good question.
It
I'll
is.
let you guys go first. I'm, of course, married. I'm in the most secure situation. So, I mean, it's different now. I know early
Actually,
on,
no.
might
You
be
go first.
No.
That's not, I mean, there's no such thing as a secured situation, whatever.
I'll go ahead and
yeah.
start.
You should go
That's cool.
first.
Can I start it first? Can I tee it up?
Jock, you go ahead.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. But yeah, so as far as can you be friends with somebody that's? I think Janelle actually gave me this question actually, and my answer to this is
Damn, you just calling them motherfuckers out like that?
nah. Janelle's close to homie. Yeah,
She hopped on that one time.
yeah, she did hop on. Yeah, exactly. And Chance was like giving her shit. But anyways, yeah. So I don't think you can actually be friends with somebody like close friends, like hanging out one on one. That's single, and because it's too much like temptation there. You know what I mean? Like it's too much stuff that actually can happen. Now, if it's like in a group setting, like y'all hanging out in a group and all that, I think that's fine. But it depends, right? So what I mean by that is like if you're hanging out with this person like a lot, like more than your significant other, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like that's a problem. You shouldn't be hanging out with somebody more than like who you're actually with. If you're with somebody, that's just think about like me personally. I wouldn't want my chick hanging out with a dude that's attractive, whatever, more than me, because I figure, one-on-one, because it's like, what's actually going on? Like, why you're hanging out so much, like, versus me and you, it just doesn't make sense to me, So if that's the case, yeah, for sure, like, that's not right,
Yeah. So my take, I mean, I agree with you on that. I think there are certain boundaries that you don't cross. I'd say the more you're with somebody, the longer you're with them, the more you tend to trust them. Now, if you ever do something to lose trust, I feel like it's hard to ever get it back, But if you have it and you've established it, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, again, that's the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose. But I feel like as long as you're doing your part, you're not stepping out of bounds, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger over time. I think a lot of that comes with, being comfortable. Again, in the beginning of a relationship, you never know, it's all about getting adjusted, understanding each other, and, it's all compromise, right? So when you're 1st with somebody, you don't know how much they expect. You might know what they expect, but you don't necessarily know how much. You don't know how they feel about you. You don't know how you come off to them. Because, I mean, but it's different because you're still getting used to each other as people. At first, you're in that honeymoon phase.
Exactly.
All that really matters is the relationship. Let's date, let's talk, let's do this, let's do that. Once you start to get to know each other on a personal level and you start doing hobbies together, and when you're hanging out doing nothing instead of like events, like going on dates early in the relationship, that's when I think, you really get to know the other person. I would say earlier in the relationship, if you're in that fragile state, not necessarily fragile state, but early enough where you're just dating, might not know each other on that personal level that deep yet, then yeah, you can kind of put yourself in dangerous situations, or you can see your significant other put themselves in dangerous situations.
You know what, Mike?
We're guys, so I mean, we know guys are almost always have an agenda.
All creeps.
Exactly. I was gonna say
always.
That. It's not that I don't trust her.
Yeah.
I don't trust dudes. Because
it depends on
dude.
your
niggas, especially
other, like kind of their personality too. Because I feel like if they're tough and like already kind of like bitchy, they won't allow themselves to get in a tough situation. They'll just like, push off of it.
Push off, right.
If they're very friendly, then those are the ones you're kind of like, well, you might not have any bad intentions, but you might end up in a situation where you can't really talk your way out of it. Now all of a sudden you have these guys that have agendas, have you in a precarious situation, things can go bad. So I would say it's not even so much the trust in the significant other, and you know, I mean, yeah, in the beginning, but I'd say the big thing is really just kind of trusting that they know not to trust guys.
Right, yeah, I agree, 100%, 100%.
Or just to like always be on guard. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way. Even if they do like consider that person a friend, or like they've known that person longer than they known their significant other or whatnot, you know, like I mean shit, like it's all right, but like sometimes I don't know, like if it's like some shit, I even like when I was in a relationship, like my girl would go to like hang out with like girls' night or whatever.
Yeah.
But like they'll go hang out with like these dudes that are like their friends, you know? And it's
Right.
like, yo, I know these niggas, like, why can't I, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is, like, why are you going? You know what I'm saying? Like, if, like, you're going to hang out with, like, your single friends and shit like that, it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, even though, like, I knew I had nothing to worry about, or, like, you know, I thought that, or, you know, it was all good, like, it was just kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, for me. You know,
I think this too.
Me
like,
looked at them kind of weird just because of the actions that she was taking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel you on that. I think a lot of it too, though, is like if you're in a if her group of friends are all single, you know, it's kind of tough. You know, most of y'all are single. Not so much anymore, but there were periods of time where you know y'all were single. So it's like,
right.
I get it because I'm hanging out with y'all. We're not really doing anything sketch, but if you find that like it's constantly she's only hanging out with her single friends and you're kind of left out of the loop, that's where it can be kind of like, hey, what's going on there? You know, like most of the time it's like, hey, this is what the guys are doing. Do you want to join? We know they're probably not going to say yes.
Yeah, like, nah,
but it's like, if you don't give that initial invite, then it's kind of like, are you trying to keep me away? Like, what? I do feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you too.
And that's usually how well, that's how it was for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like the personal, you know, example that I can kind of give or whatever. And but like, real talk, if you're confident in yourself and like your relationship, you really ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah. But like, as long as that shit don't get excessive, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, yo, like, you spending more time with that person than me. Like, what the fuck is up? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't, you know, my thing is respect. You know, respect and transparency. Like you said, Mike, just let, like, you don't have to let it, like a person know all the time, but like, hey, this is what I'm about to do. You can come or not, but, you know, I'm just letting you know, like, it's being transparent. If you're, like, not letting, like, plans know at all, especially if you're out together and you're being sneaky about stuff, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's the issue, especially when you find out they're hanging out with, like, their single guy friends.
And,
you know what I mean?
And that could be, like, with anything, too. Like, I mean, they could be, you know, like, going more to the gym or some shit, you know, spending more hours with their personal trainer or shit like that, hanging out with the kid that they mentor, like Jada Pinkett was doing, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. That was supposedly
I pulled it
like
up.
you know, like,
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, Jock, you said let's bring this up. I'll let you intro the idea, and I got the article up.
Yeah, I did. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up what's going on. Well, what's been going on in the world. But it's an artist by the name of August Alsina. Y'all know him. You know, he had the hit. I love this shit.
Nigga look like Sideshow Bob now.
Right. Yeah, his hair is crazy. But so it was he had a recent interview with Angela Yee, about an hour long or so, and she asked him the question like, "Hey, August, you know, you always been kind of quiet on, you know, who you actually dated or who you had relations with. Do you mind shedding light on that? You know, pretty much." And he was like, "You know what? I just want to like live my truth and like get it out there." And then he dropped the bomb and said like, you know, me and Jada actually like had a secret relationship, which is crazy. It was already kind of alluded to, but nobody didn't really, it was kind of like rumored, right? But he said it out of his own mouth, like, nah, it's yeah, like we were together. And the crazy part is he said he actually went to Will Smith and sat down and Will gave him his blessing. Like, hey man, like you had my blessing. And
Will a cut.
Right. And so I'm just like, dang. So like what I think happened is that, you know, they are an open marriage. You know, we all know that, Will and Jada. And I think that she just wanted to fuck around with August Alsina. She probably thought he was cute and attractive and just wanted to like fuck him strictly, right? But August ended up catching feelings and like really falling in love with her type shit. So he probably wanted to take it to another level. And she was like, nah, like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Like, nah, nigga, I got a family.
And he
Exactly.
stood by it.
Yeah, right. And so she probably dropped him or told him like to chill out.
Friendly
He got
looking
mad,
man.
couldn't deal with it, you know, because in the interview, if you guys watch it, he really loved her. Like, I loved her. He even said this, guys.
Yeah, that
He was
nigga
like,
caught feelings.
There it is right there.
right. He even said this.
But
He's
how
like,
could you not?
no, that's Angela Yee. But like, so he even said in the interview, because I watched the full interview. She was like an hour long. I watched the whole thing. He even said
Damn,
that,
boy.
yeah, because it was interesting. He said that if he were to die today, he would be happy in life knowing that he gave his full love to somebody. Now, I don't know if he actually meant that or if let's keep in mind.
It
he
says
does have
it here.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Gave
See, yeah.
himself to that relationship for years
Right.
of his life, and he truly and really, really deeply loved and had a ton of love for her.
Yep. So
now,
it's crazy.
she said absolutely not true.
I mean, if you somebody boy toy,
There's some
like,
healing that
shit.
needs to
Oh,
happen.
he said boys' toy. That's what it was, Chance. That's all it was in her mind, you know?
Yeah, to him, like he may have been in love, like they may have had like a relationship, but to her, he was probably just fucking Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. That's the whole point I'm making. Exactly. But he caught feelings. He fell in love and then found, you know?
And there's
That's why, man, like that's why like relationships got to be like deeper than like sex.
Yeah.
Like it has to be like more than that. Like real talk, like now being grown, like I couldn't really just like just fuck nobody, and you know what I'm saying? Like, now I mean I could, but like I don't know, like I'd seem like an asshole because you know I wouldn't want to be in that type of shit. So
Yeah, it's just drama, bro. Like the older we get,
Yeah.
we realize like it is emotional.
we'd have to have a fucking
Connection.
talk.
Exactly, and it's more of a connection, right? So I just thought that was actually interesting that, you know, it kind of ties back to everything that we're talking about. Can you trust your significant other being with somebody single that's attractive? You know, and we brought up, you know, Mike, you brought up the whole point that it's not about trusting them, it's just about the whole, like everything else, like around the situation, you know? But I thought that was interesting, man. Like, you know, it just, you can trust your significant other all day long, but just the other person. And this is a perfect example. Will trust Jada, of course, if he gave his blessings, like, you know what, they do it all the time. Whatever, if you want to fuck him, cool, whatever. But Will probably didn't know this nigga would be this messy or, you know, like drama behind that. So I'm sure he's probably, I'm sure he's probably
He seemed
mad.
like a messy ass nigga.
Exactly. And so Will's probably mad, like, why you bring this messy ass nigga in my house, you know, in our house around our family and shit. Like, I thought y'all had an understanding, and now he's airing out our dirty laundry type shit, you know?
Well, this is right after the whole who's the YouTube guy that made some weird comments about Willow? Did y'all see that?
No.
I didn't see that.
Mm-mm.
What was it? Some kind of a weird thing. And this is like, you know, their family's always in the news, you know, like.
Unfortunately, yeah. I like the Smiths.
They some weirdos.
Yeah, it was like this dude Shane Dawson. I guess he was YouTube. They found some old post he had from a long time ago where he was like talking about that song she put that was like whip her hair.
I want my hair back if I want my hair back if I.
He's like 14 or 13.
Yeah.
How would they-
Now that guy's basically like cancel culture, you know, but like that's weird talking about kids, man. Like if you cancel people talking about kids, I'm not making any argument for them.
Right.
Cancel culture for what? For whipping her hair back and forth?
Nah, it was like he made some kind of like sexual comments about it, and she was like 14 at the time.
Yeah, that shit's not cool at all. And you know, speaking of that, what's up with these fucking pedophiles, bro? Like, I will never understand that people always making comments about younger chicks or women. That shit is like gross, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like Epstein, for example. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to get into that, but it's just like shit just gross, bro. Like, what makes y'all attracted to that, to like a young girl, you know?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's
I
some
don't fucking
weird
know, man,
people
because I
out
like
there.
grown ass women.
I mean, everybody should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody should. You know, but
I
just
don't know what it is. I'm mostly like chicks that's even older than me. I be going for the milfs and cougars. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm with you on that though. I mean, you know, as I've gotten older too, you know, you think about like when you're 16, you look at like, you know, peers, and then you look at the ones that are younger than that, you're like, oh, they look young. There are like 22, 23-year-olds now that I see that I'm like, that looks like a child. You know, like it's crazy.
Exactly. It's a kid, bro. Literally, it's a
Yeah,
kid.
like normally your frame of reference changes, you know, but it's not like that for everybody. I mean, some people kind of have problems. Oh, fuck no.
It goes back to daddy and mommy issues. Like I get that, but it's just get fucking therapy. Like if you know also somebody has an issue, try to help them like seek help. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit's not. They're just gonna prey on somebody else. You know, when they get older or whatever. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like that shit upsets me. Like when I see that, like every time. So fuck that guy that made the comment to Willow.
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
weird shit, man.
Yeah.